Okay, welcome to tutorial number 8 and the final tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be adding in stars to the game and also adding in a scoring system. So the stars provide the player with points and have a scoring system display at the end. So in a game we're going to be looking at stars. So first thing we need to do is go back to our star class. So this is our star class we created the last tutorial. So that was in tutorial 5 in the star class tutorial. And I made a little mistake, so we just need to go ahead and fix it. So just scrolling down and going into the void star. So this is where we create this star, the shape of the star. And I got my trigonometry a little bit wrong. So for our x, we need it to be cos. For our y, we need this to be sin or sine, however you like to say it. So we just need to change that one there for our y value. And then again down here for our second point, this needs to be sine. That'll just fix it up so that it actually looks like a star when we render it to the screen. Second thing we're going to add in here that going to need to be able to complete this project is we're going to need to go back up to the top here, and we're going to have to put in an int size variable, and we're going to set it to 10. That's just the size of our star. So we're going to use this just when we render out our star. So we've got size up there. And down here in our renderer, so this is where we render our star to the screen, we got our start, we got our 5, we got our 10. We're just going to replace this with size now, our size variable. We'll use that later on in the tutorial to check some distances with other things in the game. So that's all we need to do. Fix up the second cos. So it's cos on the x, sine on the y, cos on the x, sine on the y, and then we need the star just to have a size. So we just set that, predefine that up the top there. Alright, so now let's go back into our dodgeball file and let's make some stars. So we want an array list of stars, so we want to have multiple stars coming up on the screen, and we're going to do that using an array list. And we're going to have it a type star, close bracket, excuse me, and we're going to call this star points. And we're just gonna, that's gonna be the name of our array, equals a new array list, and we're gonna have it of star. There we go, and open closing brackets and semicolon at the end. That's the first variable we're going to create. The next variable we're going to create is another timer for the stars. So we want a timer that we can set and have it coming up. So it coming up randomly based on a timer. So we're going to go timer. We're going to call this star time. Star time equals new timer. I'm just going to set it to 5 to begin with. Oh, wait a second. We need it inside brackets. There we go. Just going to set it to 5 and semicolon at the end. The last thing we're going to add in is a integer for score. I'm just going to set that to 0. That's going to start at 0. So we've got our array list of stars, we've got our timer, and we've got a score. So they're the 3 variables we're going to need to be able to get a scoring system working and our stars working. Now to go down into our void draw function and go all the way down into our first case, our main menu, to the start button, and this is where we're going to just set them up again so that when we hit our start button they just reset everything. So the score is the easy one to do, just go score is equal to 0. That's all we want. Now, just like we did here with our dodgeballs, we set it to a new array. That's what we're going to do with our stars. So we've got star points, because they're points. They give us points, equals new array list of type star, close bracket, open close, and semicolon. What did I do wrong? I spelled star points with a lowercase s when I did it with an uppercase s. And what's our last thing we need to do is set our timer up. So we're going to set our timer up to be a random time between 5 and 10 seconds. So the stars will spawn randomly between 5 and 10 seconds. So let's go with star time dot set, and we're going to set time. There we go. And we're going to set it between a random, open bracket, 5, 10, close bracket again, semicolon. So that's going to set our timer between 5 and 10 when we hit the play button. Alright, so now we need to go into our actual gameplay and use this timer to create stars. So we're going to go into here and see how we've updated our timers here. So let's add our last timer, our new timer. Star time dot count down. Got our start count, if I could spell count. There we go, countdown. Alright. Now we want to go if this countdown timer goes to 0, what do we want to have happen? So we're going to go if our star, star time dot time is less than or equal to 0. We want to do something, open bracket, close squiggly bracket. What do we want to have happen? We want to add a star and we want to reset the timer. So we're going to add a star. So what was our star variable? We're going to star, capital S, points, dot add. And this is where we put it in a new star. And our constructor had no parameters in it. That's why we're not putting anything in here. So if we go back up to our star class, in our constructor, which is here, we have no parameters. Everything's set, preset for us. It has a random position on the screen. It has a time live set to a random time between 5 and 10 seconds. And we have our color set up to a gold color. That's our gold color. So we don't need to set anything in here. So that adds a star to our list. Next thing we need to do is we need to reset the timer so we don't get spammed with stars. So we're going to go star time dot set timer to set time to random, open bracket, 5 and 10, close bracket, semicolon. That's going to reset our timer back to between 5 and 10 seconds. Done. Alright, we have yet to display this. So if we ran the program at the moment, it would do nothing. So let's go ahead and actually get these stars to display to the screen. Now you're probably thinking, oh, we could do the exact same we did for our balls down here. See, for ball temp, our array list. Yep, that would work. But we also want to be able to delete stars at some point, and this method won't work. So we're going to use a different method. So go scroll back up here, and underneath where we've got our timer, and we're adding a new one, and we're resetting our timer, we're going to go here, we're going to create a for loop, but this is going to be a normal type of for loop. We're going to have a variable, an integer called s, because that's going to be our star we want to pick. We're going to make it equal to, now this is the tricky bit, we're going to get it equal to the last number in our array and work backwards from the furthest position back to the star position. So we're going to get our star points dot size. So we want to get the size of this, and just remember that an array, if say we had 5 items in the array, their positions aren't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Their positions actually start at 0 and go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can't actually have it set to 5 because that position doesn't exist. So we have to have it 1 less than the size. Alright, and we need a lowercase s. There we go. Now, semicolon in, and we now need to go size is greater than or equal to 0. So that's saying if it is greater than 0 or equal to 0, then keep going through the loop, and we're going to put s minus minus. So this is going to subtract 1 to it each time we loop through. We're going to open a squiggly bracket, close a squiggly bracket. So we start at our endpoint. Say we've got 5 variables. We start at 4, and we work out back 3, 2, 1, 0. So that's 5 numbers there from 4 to 0, and then it'll break out of the loop. Alright, so we need to now get this star, and we don't have a temporary variable, so we actually have to use a special function called get. So we go star points dot get, and this is where we get the position. This is the star. How we get it? We go S because that's the position we want. That's the star we want. Now we're going to go dot update date. That's going to update the position of the star. Same thing again. We're going to go star points dot get S dot. Now we're going to render it. All right. Let's see what happens. What should happen? Who knows? I do. All right. So should be when our timer runs out, which we don't know how long it is, between 5 and 10 seconds, a star should appear. There we go. A star appears on the screen. Now our timer has been reset, and if we let it go for a max of 10 seconds, another star will appear. There's another star. It's a random position, but there it is. Done. So we just wait around a little bit longer, and then there's another star. Now, we can't collect these stars yet. They don't do anything. They don't disappear. They don't collect. They don't add to our score. They do nothing at the moment. Oh, there we go. There's another star. Oh, it's dangerous. There's a yellow ball coming through. And there's another star popping up. Somehow they're getting clustered up in that corner, but it's just randomly generated. There's another star. And we just, we're just waiting for stars to pop up. There's another star. All right, cool. So the stars are working. So now, how about we get them so that when we run into them, we delete them? So inside our for loop, this is what we're going to write. We're going to write an if statement. We're going to say if. Now, we need to get the star's position first. Star point dot get. We're going to use this get function a lot. Dot position dot distance. Now we need the distance between the star's position and the player's position, which is the mouse position. So we go new p vector, and we put the mouse x and mouse y. Ooh, no, uppercase on the mouse. Y is uppercase. And we close out 2 brackets off. That's the first thing we need to do. That gets the distance between the mouse point and the star's position. Now we need that to be less than the player size divided by 2, because player size is diameter and we want radius, so we want half the circle, not the whole width of the circle, plus now we need to get the star's size. That's why we created this extra variable up in here, size, and we set it to 10. That's how big our stars are. That's our diameter of our stars, not our radius. So again, we're going to have to have it. But we're going to go star points dot get s again. That's the star we're using. Dot size divided by 2. And then we close the bracket. That huge line of code says that the distance between the star and the player's position, if it's less than the distance between half the player's size and half the star's size added together, then we've run into it, and we need to delete it now. So put open and closing squiggly brackets. How do we delete this star? All right, how do we do that? We go star points dot remove. There we go. This is a different function. Remove. And we're going to put S in here. That's the star we want to remove. Alright, so we want to remove that star. So let's see what happens when we run this code. And now let's see. The star should pop up inside 10 seconds. Just waiting. There's the star. So if I run into it, bang, oh, it disappears. Excellent. So we're deleting that star, and another star should pop up in no time. There we go. And if I run into it, bang, it deletes itself. Oh, that was a really quick timer. And bang, it deletes itself. And excellent. But just at the moment, we don't have a score. It's not adding to our score, and we're not displaying a score. So we did create a score variable, did we not? Yes, we did. We created a score variable. We reset it to 0. So now when we actually kill a star, so in our for loop for our star, and if we run into one, we actually want to update this. And we need to have it above the remove. Once we've removed the star doesn't exist anymore, and we can't reference it anymore, and our program will just crash. So we want to go score plus equals, and how much do we want to increase the score by when we get a star? Well, we created a variable for that when we created our star class. We made our stars worth 50 points. So we're going to get our star points, and again, we're going to go dot get, and we're going to get this S star, and then what are we going to do? We're going to get dot score value, which was the name of our score value, which was our variable up here, and it's worth 50. So we're adding 50 now every time we get a star. So that's great. We're adding score. Now we need to display our score. So let's go down the bottom, all the way to the bottom, to the end game. End game at the moment says game over, and it displays the game time. So we're going to delete that. We're going to go score because we want to know our score. We don't want to know the game time. Let's run this. So we need to pick up some stars first. Well, we could run into it. Yeah, we get 0 points. All right, now let's try and see if we can run into a star. Just wait for a star to pop up. Run into 1 star. So you should have 50 points. Run into a second star, should spawn. Yep, there we go. So we have 100 points. Yep, we ran into it, and it displays our score with 100 points. Woo! All right, so that's great. We got scores working. We got stars in the game. It's a bit simple because the stars just stick around forever, but that's all right. So let's think about now. We've got score, but what about if we added the amount of time also we were alive for to the score? All right, so when does the game end? In gameplay, we check to see if the game ends right at the top in this if statement. Says if game over is true, we bounce to menu 2, which displays the end game. So in here, what we're going to do is this is when our score can have plus equals the time added to it. Game time dot time added to it. So it'll add the amount of time we survive for. So that's a nice thing. So we collect stars, we get points, but we also get the game time added to it. So let's just run that. We should see if we can pick up a star first, so we should get 50 points for a star, and then whatever the game time is should be added to it. There's a star. Let's go pick that star up. Oh, don't die. Star, and 12 seconds is on the clock. There we go. 50 plus 12 is 62. So that's working now. So we've got a bit of a score going. But at the moment, it's pretty easy to pick up stars. And maybe my stars are a bit too slow at generating. Maybe I'd generate them every 2 to 6 seconds. Let's run that. Let's see what happens when we generate them every 2 to 6 seconds. Our first star will be between 5 and 10 seconds, and every other star after that will be 2 to 6 seconds. So 2 to 6 seconds, the next star is going to pop up. 6 seconds, there we go, bang. Ooh, that one was a quick one. So we can keep collecting stars. They're pretty easy to collect because they stick around on the screen forever. We just got to dodge enough to get to them. Alright, they're spawning pretty good. And even if I just leave, see that star will stick around forever. Game's starting to get hard now, and they just stick around forever. That makes them pretty easy to collect even at this level. And then I just ran into one randomly, and my result is 442. So, what about now? Or why don't we give the player a reward when they go up a level? So when we go up a level, is our if statement if the timer for our level up is at 0, we go up a level. How about we add a star in here when we go up a level? So why don't we go star points dot add a new star. That's how easy it is. So every time a level goes up now, we also get another star pop on the screen. So we're going to have lots of stars. So the first one should be ready. Should come up now because we just went up a level. Oh, there's another star. Oh, there's another star. Oh, another level went up. Oh, we get another star. So now we can start collecting stars. And they come up pretty regularly now. That's kind of nice. Pretty easy to get a good start on the game. I already got 400 points. Now, what about if we made the stars disappear after a certain amount of time? Made it a bit harder so that you had to get to them quickly. even if you're dodging around, you had to dodge around and get there quickly, find the quickest point, otherwise the star might disappear on you. Alright, well, we actually have built that a little bit in already when we created our star. We created a time in the star and set it to a random time between 5 and 10 seconds. When that is updated in our update loop and it's counting down. When it gets to 0, it sets it to alive is false. We're going to use this alive variable, which starts as true and goes to false, to delete our stars. So up here, let's go to our star for loop. This is our for loop for our stars. We update them, we render them. I'm going to put an if statement above this, and we're going to go if get our star, whoop, points dot get, and we're going to get s dot alive, because that's our variable. If that's equal to false, if we want to do something, let's do something. Open and close circle brackets. And what do we want to do? Just remember, you can hit Control T to just format everything nicely. Sometimes you get a little bit, brackets all over the shop, so hit Control T, and that'll format your code very nicely. So what do we want to do here? We want to remove that star. So we're going to go star points dot remove star. And we don't want to add any score because we didn't pick it up. So that should just get rid of it. We want to put an else statement in here now. What is this going to do? What have I just written here? So we're saying if the star alive is equal to false, so it's not alive, then we delete it. But if this isn't true, we want to check to see if the star got picked up by the player. So this will only run if this is false. If this is true and the star is dead, then it'll remove it and it won't run this line of code. That way we don't get any accidental errors coming up in our code. If I don't have this in here, we may get a null reference exception because it goes, oh, you deleted the star and then you're trying to reference this star that's deleted. It doesn't exist. Oh God, the end of the world has come. I don't know what to do. That's what the program's thinking. All right, so let's run this now. First star should come up now. So, ooh, 2 stars came up. Let's see how long they last. Oh, there's one gone. There's another one gone. So they're blinking off the screen now. Oh, they're blinking off the screen, depending on how long the timer is. So I've got to pick them up a little bit quicker. Got to get in there and grab them. If I don't get to this one in time, well, the timer is pretty long on these at the moment, so you could change the timer in the star class from between 5 and 10 seconds to maybe a couple of seconds. Oh, they're disappearing on me, so I've got to get to them quickly. Well, let me see if I can get to that one in time. Oh, I think I did. I got that one. Got that one. Yeah, no, crap. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, yes, maybe. Yes, I got to it in time. Oh, got to that one in time. Oh, don't know if I'm going to get to these ones in time. Yeah, I'll get to that one. I'll get that one. Nope, I can't get that one. Oh, no, I missed that one. Oh, game over. All right, so there we go. We've added in stars. We've made them appear when they're on the level. We've made them appear at a random time. They also delete themselves now at a random time between 5 and 10 seconds. We could change that. We could make it 2. So they could be really, really short, and 5 seconds. So you could be really quick to get them. You could also change the size of the stars, so you can make them slightly bigger if you liked. And then we've also got a score system in, so they give you score. The score is updated at the end with the game time, so when the game ends, and it's displayed at the end of the game. So this is the final tutorial for this set of videos. Hopefully you have a functioning dodgeball game where you can bounce, move around, interact with it, dodge balls, have stars appear, collect them, and overall try and get the best score you can. Additionally, you can add different things into this game, modify it, change it however you like, increase, add, make it better. Oh, I didn't quite get to that star bugger. And overall, just try and beat your friends at getting a high score. So that's it for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it.